Hey everybody, how's it going? It's been a while since I've done a video in this format, but now I think this is probably going to be what you will see in my dissected videos just because it's so easy to make now. It's ridiculous the way that this works. And I'm of course talking about markerless motion capture in Unreal Engine 5.8. See, if you're not into like this world that I am, motion capture, animation, all that, usually if you don't want to keyframe animate, which is the traditional way to doing things, you would have to use some sort of motion capture data. Often that is data that you can acquire online. There's Mixamo, something that it was very common, let's say that way. But then motion capture started becoming more affordable. See, bigger companies have access to a lot of resources and they have access to the best motion capture possible, which is the optical system or the Vicon. That system is like $10,000, $50,000. And then we started getting this inertia-based motion capture system, which is the one that I purchased. I have one that's called Perception Neuron. It's been okay. There's still always a lot of cleanup and a lot of things that you have to do in order to make things look correct. However, with this markerless motion capture, at least for me, is a total game changer. For me, this has been like when metahumans came out or when Unreal Engine decided to enable Lumen. Not only do I not need to wear a suit anymore, but also everything is integrated inside Unreal Engine. And I'm just recording on my phone. If you are wondering, I have a Note 10 Plus, really ancient phone by today's standards. And it's recording at 4K, 60 frames per second. I'll show you in a little bit how all that's done. But yeah, the reason why this is such a big deal is because not only is it better without a suit, but it's also capturing things that are usually not possible with a suit. Do you see? Probably those who do motion capture have been watching my hands, and if you see what I'm doing with my hands, this is something that is not very easy to do with motion capture suit unless you have the most expensive gloves. Like I have the Perception Neuron and I have the gloves, but the solve only gets to kind of like these three fingers and the rest are IK rigged. So pretty much I couldn't make my guitar movements, which is something that I plan to test with the song later on. So far it has worked great. You can have an object occluding you, like partially occluding you with something like a guitar, and it works great. So if you're holding a sword, whatever, like any prop, this thing should still work amazing. And I'm really surprised at how everything works, because even the facial motion capture that you're seeing right now, I'm not using anything extra. I'm just using just one video for absolutely everything, and it's all integrated inside of Unreal Engine. Now, the other thing that to me has been game changer, because markerless motion capture has been around for a little while, I'd say a little bit more than a couple of years now. And while some of the apps are not great, there's certain apps that do the job. My problem with the apps is their monetization model and the fact that most of them only allowed you to upload 60 seconds to 2-minute videos at a time, which even if you're doing something like this, which is just talking, it's ridiculous. I'm glad that Unreal Engine acquired Meshcapade. To be honest, I tested Meshcapade like really long time ago. I wasn't that good. So that's why I am really surprised how well this works. So if you're wondering, the character that you're seeing is what I would call a regular metahuman. I did change the head with one of the metahuman identities from 3D Scan Store. I already have a tutorial doing that in the channel, but the rest of the body of the metahuman is just a standard mix body that I did with blending different presets. So it's not what I would call a custom metahuman. However, when it comes to custom metahuman, I would think that there would not be any different whatsoever when it comes to the motion capture, because you can transfer the motion capture, you can retarget it to whatever you want. So The fact that you're using a custom metahuman or regular metahuman actually doesn't matter at all. One of the things that I must say about the new custom mesh metahuman, it's not good. I tried it, and unless they make some improvements, which one of those improvements that I would do is kind of like have a brush that allows you to relax. If you follow me on social media, you probably know what I mean. I post a lot of things on X, so my X account is down below. If you want to follow me there, I usually post a lot of my tests there before I post them on the channel. Yeah, this isn't the end all be all. I've seen some people online saying that, oh, this is going to kill motion capture suits and all that. Not really, because you are limited to what the camera sees. And right now things are looking great because I have a static camera, but if you have a moving camera, which is another test that I'm going to do very soon, so guys stay tuned for that, it's not fantastic. I've already tried with a couple of shots that wasn't me, shots that I got from YouTube. And I'm guessing it's probably compression, so that's why I have to try myself with a moving camera, because it wasn't as good as this one. So that's one of the limitations, probably, if you have an inertial suit, or probably why this isn't going to supplant something like optical motion capture in like big studios, just because there is that limitation that you have to be on frame. Although, again, another test that I did for my, and that was in the channel, by the way, it's a short before the video, this video, is the one that I did from one of my YouTube videos. I was sitting down and the shot was from the waist up. And because it was from the waist up, it was working fine. It kind of detected my legs a little bit funky, but from the waist up, everything looked great. The hands were not good, also because the hands were not present on the frame all the time. So there are some caveats, but what I mean is you don't have to do a far away shot like I'm doing right now. You can do a closer shot if you just want to do a talking head and all that. Does this work in real time? No, this takes a while to process, and you'll see in a little bit how much it takes processing. So yeah, let's go see that. Okay, so hope that demonstration was quite enough to tell you what this thing can do. And just so you know, that animation that you saw, the only thing that I changed was the shoulder. Like, for some reason, when I use metahumans with these animations, the shoulders are very like downwards. So I just fixed it a little bit and raised the shoulders. Everything else is raw from the motion capture. That's why you saw there was a little bit of a weird deformation with the fingers when I put them together. Because like I've shown on social media, it's good sometimes, but it's not good all the time. So this isn't perfect. And let me make this clear. Every motion capture that you do has to be cleaned up. There always have to be some tweaking, because even the high-end Hollywood optical motion capture that James Cameron used for Avatar, even that had to be cleaned up. So the fact that this isn't perfect doesn't mean that it's bad. It means that it is just like every motion capture out there that needs a little bit of cleanup. So yes, there are some errors, and I purposely didn't clean the whole thing just so you can see how it looks out of the box. I just fixed the shoulders because I think it's very uncanny. Now, the other thing is this video, I'm not going to go into the whole plugin thing. I'm just going to jump right into it because there's a gajillion videos by now how to activate the plugins for this. So the first thing you need to do is go to Tools, and right here is Live Link Hub, and it's going to be there if you activated all your plugins for this. Now you go into Live Data, Capture Manager, add in mono video ingest, because it's a monocular video. As far as I understand, this is what you're doing, and you're going to point it to the folder where you want your video to be. Now, the way that I'm doing this is I recorded the video that I used. I recorded it with my Galaxy Note 10 Plus. That is a very ancient phone by today's term. So I have not used my iPhone yet, and I'm not going to. I just need to see if my regular Android phone work well for this, because as you saw, some of the facial expressions were okay, but they were not great. And I think that the facial expression can be better if you use the metahuman animator with the iPhone, which is what I plan to do. I plan to do another test, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to do another test with what they call the dual camera, which is one camera captures your body, and then you use metahuman animator for your face. And I think that's what I would do it professionally if somebody were to ask me to do them for either a game, cinematic, or whatnot. Probably what I'm going to be doing for one of my short films, because now it's easier than ever to do shorts with this, and I think things can look amazing. Now, once you get your video, and before I get this, what are my recommendations for videos? Well, the higher the resolution, the better, but the higher the resolution, the longer it's going to take to process. I process videos that are 720p, they go by pretty fast. I process videos that are 4K 60, and they take really, really long time, like hours. They can take up to hours depending on how long the video is. And yes, what you saw was from a 4K 60 raw video that I took with my phone. So this is the folder that I'm choosing. I'm going to click select folder. And as you can see, it detected the 3 videos that I have in there. These 2 are the videos that I use for what you saw in the beginning, and they are 4K 60. They take quite a bit to process, so I'm going to choose this one, which is a test video that I did for something that I posted on Twitter or X, and it goes by decently fast. So I'm going to add to queue, and here is the first recommendation that I'm going to give you. This is also on the documentation. If you are recording from an iPhone, this is probably not going to be an issue. But when I was recording with my phone, I would get the progress all the way to 65%, and then I would get a status of red. It would just show me red, and it would say something could not continue processing. That apparently has to do with the encoder. So what you need to do is go here, settings, and you can see here that use third-party encoder is checked. Once you launch this for the first time, and if you've not done this, this is going to be unchecked. Now, the third-party encoder will allow you to add more kinds of videos, because like I said, the videos that I was taking with my phone were not working out of the box. I had to go into Premiere, convert them, and then come back here. And then I saw this on the documentation that you can use a third-party encoder. And I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can get this, actually this website right here. And I got this, the one that says Essentials. You can get the .zip or 7c, it's the same thing. But as long as you get the release Essentials, all you have to do is unzip this into a folder. So you can see that I unzipped it into a folder. Make sure you call it this. I'm going to leave this in the description below just so you know. So it's just in my regular C directory. And then this is the extracted folder. Of course, the extracted folder is going to look like this, like release essentials. So make sure that you erase the release essential and only leave the FFmpeg. And then you click here and you point it to where the exe is located, which is inside the bin folder. This one right here in the bottom will auto-populate, so don't worry about this. Once you put the exe here, this will appear on its own. So after you've done that, then all you have to do is click start. I don't change anything here. Another thing that I've seen is some people change this from JPEG to PNG. I've not seen a difference in quality. And if you change it to PNG, it's going to take twice as long. So I'm just going to leave it at JPEG and click on start. And that stays on 62.5 for like 30 seconds and then moves on and then goes by pretty quick. So I'm just going to stop here. I'll be right back. Okay, why did I get this status? Well, if I hover over this, let me put it right here so you all can see. If you can read that, it just says that the file already exists because I already processed this one. So in there, so if you happen to process something twice, you may get this as well. Now, once you've done ingesting, you can get out of the link hub. And all you have to do is get one of these that I have here. So right click, metahuman performance, not capture data. Now, once you open it, you're going to get this window and you want input type monocular footage because that's why we just ingested. So we're going to go here and we're going to go into this one, which is the small one that I told you about. Now you can see me, I grab the because I was going to test if this thing was going to be in the way, and it actually isn't. It actually works well even with this thing covering my face. It doesn't get my face emoting pretty well, but I don't care because I'm going to be doing that with metahuman animator. All I need for this is to get my head, and it does. So once you are at this level, let's say I want to cut it all the way over here. You can move these things. And again, you don't need to do T-posing or anything. I've done it from here and it was okay. So I just want, you know, a small piece so it processes quickly. And after that, you're going to scroll all the way down and you're going to check body tracking. Now, once you check body tracking, you're going to get this little doll here in purple. And usually what I've seen a lot of people gravitate to, and I was doing this myself as well, is you want to add a visualization object. Don't. Because if you add a visualization object, it's going to be a metahuman blueprint that hopefully you've already created. And it's going to take a while. So even if you use some of these legacy one or the UEFN while, it's going to take longer than if you do it like this and then add it after the fact. So we're going to process it like this. We're not going to be adding a visualization object just yet, so it doesn't take super long. One caveat, and again, something that I posted on social media, so make sure you follow me there. Link is going to be in the description down below. My take was about 35,000 frames, and I wanted to add the visualization mesh after the fact. It was crashing every time. So in that case, if you want to have a long take, then you may need to add the visualization object from the start and just probably leave it overnight, because it's going to take quite a bit of time. Or you can go the other route that I did. That's why you see that I have a bunch of these, because what I did is that big 33,000 frame file that I told you. What I did is I loaded several different times and I did it in chunks. So it actually didn't take that long if I did it like that, and then I would add the visualization object after the fact. And because it was in small chunks, there was no crash and there was no problem. So if somebody knows a solution for that, as always, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, another thing that I have changed is this right here. So for the face, you got the face right here. Make sure you untwirl this. It's usually like this by default. Just click here. So by default, you're not going to have this. And I want to give a shout out to Solomon Jaway. Highly recommend his channel, by the way. If you're into like metahumans motion capture, his channel is fantastic. This is where I learned that. You pretty much need to change the face detection to small face detector. And that way you're going to get better facial capture from the video. If you're going to be doing the metahuman animator that I will be doing in the future with the iPhone on a head rig, then this doesn't matter at all, because facial capture doesn't matter if you're going to be using this. But if you want your facial emotions and talking like I was doing in the intro, then you need this. So one is small face detector and the other one is small face solver. This head pose tracker, as you can see, there is no arrow here. That means that this is default, and I only changed these two. If you don't see this, because I didn't see them at first. So what you need to do is go to the little gear icon here, which is settings, and then make sure that developer content is checked. These things, the small face detector and small face solver, they are part of the developer content. So once you check those folders, these things will show up. Like you will be able to browse for them here. So just make sure you do that if you don't see them. So now that we've done that, you can click on process. I have not touched anything else. This start frame, I just changed the frames here, but everything else is completely default. So I'm just going to click process. This is maybe for this amount of time. This is probably going to take about like between 5 to 10 minutes. It's not that bad. If you want to know my rig, I have a 5090. I think this is mostly GPU dependent. My CPU is an AMD 16 core and I have 60 gigs of RAM. So, you know, just for comparison, if you want to know how much it's going to take on your rig. So I'm going to hit process and I'll be right back. Okay, now it finished recording, and as you can see, it moves with me. It's all doing great. Now we can add our visualization object. I'm gonna add the metahuman that you saw in the intro. And it's going to take a little bit. It takes like 20. Oh, that was fast. It usually took like 10 seconds, but that was faster than I thought. So as you can see, the metahuman behaving, and it's not capturing the face because again, I have the iPhone on top. It doesn't matter because in this case, I would rather have the head motion if I'm going to be using metahuman animator, but everything else works fine. Now, one of the things that you could do is export animation and give it a name, image, and save. So once you're here, you're going to see that you have enable head movement, autosave, this I didn't touch. Then you get exporting face and exporting body. Now, once I export this out, you are going to see that I get a regular animation, regular body animation. That body animation contains the facial animation already. So you can export a facial animation if you want, like if you uncheck this and then look for the face. Let me look for the face. This is the face mesh. So if you just want the facial animation, and you can uncheck this if you want, if you don't want head movement, but if you just want facial animation, this is how you do it. You uncheck body and you look for a metahuman face mesh that you have in there. It doesn't matter. As long as it's a metahuman face mesh, it should do the trick, and hit create. However, if you do both at the same time, it looks like the animation didn't carry over with the face, but it actually does. So I'm not going to create that because I don't need to. Just going to save. So let me show you the sequence. Here is the character that you saw in the intro. If we open the sequence, you're going to see that here I only have a body animation. I don't have anything in the face. It's the control rec. It's just muted. But I don't have an animation in the face part because the body animation already carries over the facial animation. So you only have to add the body animation and that will include the face animation. I don't know what kind of magic is working in the background. I'm not a tech guy, so I don't know. I just know that it works. So you don't have to worry about adding face animation. Once you go through this process, just add the body animation and you should be fine. And that is it. And now you have your animation here and you can start creating with metahuman animator. It's amazing. It's not perfect, but like I said in the beginning, even the $100,000, the one that James Cameron used for Avatar, even that one had to be corrected by animators. So if you are expecting a system that will do the whole animation with movie quality levels for you from out of the box, that is never going to happen because even the most expensive systems can't do it. So this is amazing. This is really game changer. It's even better than many motion capture suits. I dare say it's better than my motion capture suit. I have a perception neuron. If you've been around my old channel, if you know me from the MR3D Dev old channel, the tutorial channel, you know that I do have a motion capture suit. It was like $3,000, including the gloves and all that. And this thing that you can use for free is, I would say, much better than that. And so far, from what I've seen, it's much better than most markerless mocap solution that you can find online. As you saw, it does take a little bit to process, so it's not like a super fast process like we had a metahuman animator for the face. It was flying, it was a super quick process, but I'm not gonna complain about that because once you get this level of fidelity with just your phone, this is amazing. And plus, it's free. It's already in the engine. So yeah, this 5.8 update for me has been game changer. Let me know in the comment sections down below. What do you think about the 5.8 changes? Are there any other things that you want me to showcase on the channel? Do you really want to see the custom metahuman thing? I can show you how bad it is and compare it to the process that I do. I'm still gonna do the Maya process, although I know not everybody can afford Maya, but it's not great. The new process is still not great. There's a lot of things that need to be corrected. There's also that mesh terrain, which I need to test, and I think it looks amazing. We may have some environment tutorials on my other channel because I don't know if there's going to be audience in this channel for that. But yeah, let me know what are your thoughts on 5.8. Thanks so much for watching all the way to this point. Subscribe if you haven't. Remember to follow me on X, and I'll see you in the next one.